To ABC24 this week. To set the stage for our next topic here, let's put up the comments that were made by former President Barack Obama this week that kind of ignited a firestorm, at least in the African-American community. He said to a group of supporters, Harris supporters in Pittsburgh, he said, "My understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. That lack of enthusiasm for Harris," Obama said, "seems to be more pronounced with the brothers." He chided voters who were voting for Trump or not casting a vote at all. Then he went on to say, "And if you are thinking about sitting out, part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president, and you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. Women in our lives have been getting our backs this entire time. When we get in trouble and the system isn't working for us, they're the ones out there marching and protesting." So then let the commentary begin. And it came in from all sides, supporters, critics. And a poll also came out at the same time from New York Times, Siena, in which it was revealed that 78% of black voters support Harris, which is still strong, but in 2008, it was 95%. And also 20% of black men said they will vote for Trump, which is unusually high for a Republican candidate among black men. So, Reverend Whalen, with that set up, I'm just going to stay out of this and just let you two go.
Well, there are some good points. When I say good, I mean valid points that former President Obama makes. However, there are some sociological and cultural issues that underlie the whole notion of black men, black women, white women, the whole deal. I don't think it's that important. However, former President Obama has Secret Service every day. He has the life of Riley, people used to talk about. He is probably not as closely connected to the community as he once was in terms of the black community. I don't know that I would have taken the approach that he took, the tone that he took. I can imagine most black men sitting in the barbershop saying, "Who are you talking to? Who made you the police of how I should vote?" However, I think that that's not the issue. I think misogyny is not the issue on that particular point. I think race is not the issue on that particular point. I think the issue is that if a black man can support a candidate who fomented an insurrection attempt in which people were calling for the execution of a sitting vice president, any person, whether they're black or white, who can support the person who fomented that event, I feel sorry for them, and I think it's embarrassing. Again, former President Obama had the right to say what he said, but I'm not sure it moves a needle either way.
Well, you know, surprisingly, we're not going to be that far apart on our takes on this issue. I do believe that former President Obama was speaking in a sort of a frustrating tone there. And remember, he was speaking at a campaign headquarters with a smaller group of African-American men in Pittsburgh, my former hometown, who were Harris supporters. It was a Harris campaign headquarters. He did not say that when he went to the bigger rally later on that evening. So he was sort of letting off steam when he said that. I think Barack Obama has the credibility to say what he said. And this is where I agree with Ken. It is amazing to me that any African-American person, or actually any person at all right now, would support someone who not just fomented January 6th, but look at everything else that he has done and the way he has denigrated African-American men over the years. Remember, he said the Central Park Five should be executed. He refused to rent apartments to African Americans, especially men. He said that Haitians, who are primarily black people living in Springfield, were eating pets and doing all other heinous things. He was talking about black men when he did that. So for the number to be 20%, to me, is appalling.
Well, that does suggest, though, that he is resonating in a way that I don't think we are giving him credit for, and that is he's kind of he's such an anti-institutionalist, and there's so much frustration with no one's really looking out for me. You know, they look at Harris married to a white guy. And these are commentaries that I've seen in editorials I've seen in the last week. She only recently, after that comment was made, comes out with a plan to help black men start their own businesses and entrepreneurial bill. And it's like a little too late. And then there's always this question, has she owned her blackness?
Well, I think those are valid points. But I also think that we've used the clause black men more times in this discussion than has been used in the United States in politics for the last 4 years. Now, what I'm saying is that I think we should enjoy this attention, but let me paraphrase something I heard Malcolm X say once. He said, in D.C., in Washington, D.C., they got everything out of the way, and now they come to you. Now it's about you. Well, why haven't black men been the topic of discussion all the time in terms of operational and political achievements and work that we have to do? President Obama knew that Kamala probably wasn't going to get the same level of support that he did. Well, why wasn't he in the barbershops for the last 4 years? Come on, man.
Well, I'm going to address what Richard said, because I don't think that a lot of those talking points are valid talking points. What has Donald Trump done for anybody except his rich friends?
No, I mean they're valid in the sense that people have a right to hold those opinions.
Well,
if they
no,
want to
I understand,
feel
but I'm talking about what Richard was saying about all of the, they maybe feel some kind of a kinship with Donald Trump, that they feel like they've been left behind. They don't think that Kamala is as black as she needs to be. Well, all of that is just hogwash. And Donald Trump has done absolutely nothing for anybody, again, except his rich friends. And so I take that with a total grain of salt. I just think that with all the things that this man, and I'm talking about Donald Trump, has done, is saying right now he will do, and the fact that he clearly is not mentally where he needs to be for a presidential candidate, let alone the president himself, when nobody's talking about that now, when they were talking about it with Joe Biden. I just think it's appalling to me that the race is still as close as it is, and it just baffles me that that's happening.
All right, well, we'll leave it there. Good conversation, you guys.